Here's some celebrity meltdowns that happened in public and got them canceled. Lindsay Lohan, she had everything going for her as a child star, but her transition from a freckled-faced Disney kid to full-blown adult was difficult to say the least. A DUI arrest that happened in May of 2007 was the beginning of the end for the celeb, as what followed immediately after was a string of more misdemeanors and missed court dates. Lohan's public meltdowns caused her to get less and less movie roles, and between car accidents, accusations of theft, multiple stays in rehab, and even a brief time in jail, she remained the paparazzi's top target and the public's biggest fascination at the time. She has very recently had the comeback of the century, so kudos to her, and here's hoping it sticks. Amanda Bynes, as the star of her own Nickelodeon show and her roles in countless teen comedies, she was seen as the bubbly girl next door and a promising actress on her rise to superstardom. However, in March of 2012, she had some very public meltdowns as she got a DUI and was also charged with possession of illicit substances. Now, her personal appearance also drastically started changing, and rumors were fueled that she had undergone botched plastic surgery. If that wasn't enough, her social media presence also became increasingly bizarre. On Twitter, she said some very vulgar things about Drake, and in May of 2013, she was seen throwing a glass smoking device out of the 36th floor window of her New York apartment. She was then hospitalized in a mental health facility and then later released into the care of her parents, who were granted conservatorship over her affairs. Brittney Spears, this teen pop star who got her first kick on the Mickey Mouse Club along fellow stars like Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling, was arguably the biggest superstar in the world in the late 90s and early 2000s. But by 2004, when she married twice in a 9-month span, first to friend Jason Alexander and next to her backup dancer Kevin Federline, that was the start of the fall. As she started her family, Spears was hounded by paparazzi and accused of everything from negligent parenting to substance dependency issues, and a day after walking out of rehab, she experienced a very public meltdown as we watched her shave her head bald in 2007 and attack paparazzi with an umbrella. The courts then placed Brittney under the conservatorship of her father, Jamie Spears, and it wasn't until just a couple years ago that she was released from it after the whole Free Britney movement. Although her recent behavior online suggests to many that that may have been a mistake to have her released. Demi Lovato. From the beginning, Demi was a little edgy for the Disney Channel that employed her, but they made it work. After co-starring in the camp rock movies with the Jonas Brothers and releasing 2 solo albums, rumors quickly began to surface of her using illegal substances and getting in fights with people on set. In October of 2010, Demi reportedly punched a backup dancer while on tour and withdrew tour dates to go into treatment for substance use. Now, she did re-emerge alongside Brittney Spears as a judge on the show X Factor, but that was short-lived as she had allegedly relapsed shortly after that, and finally did an MTV documentary-style interview where she actually spoke openly and quite frankly about her issues and continuing recovery journey. Aaron Carter. If you know the Backstreet Boys, you'll know the late Aaron Carter. BSB's fan base was so popular that anyone associated with them would be able to easily gain that notoriety as well. Well, Nick Carter's younger brother Aaron was able to start and boost his career to platinum heights at such a young age. Aaron quickly became involved in a media frenzy when he was caught up in a love triangle with Lindsay Lohan and Hilary Duff. Now, as he became older, things started to take a turn and we started to see him spiral. He actually was arrested and charged with a DUI in 2017, and by 2019 his overall health was at a low, and his brother Aaron actually obtained a temporary restraining order against Aaron because he allegedly made threats to him. The most public meltdown though was when he actually appeared on the daytime show The Doctors and revealed that he had been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, schizophrenia, acute anxiety, and manic depression. He had a child in 2021, and sadly 1 year later on November 5th, 2022, he passed away at the age of 34, so rest in peace. Selena Gomez, the Wizards of Waverly Place and Disney starlet turned singer/superstar, has been famous and in the headlines for one reason or the other in the past 2 decades, but she started to rebel in her own ways the older she got, and it seems to have started, after she starred in the 2013 film Spring Breakers, because by 2014, she canceled tours and was checked into an Arizona rehab facility for 2 weeks. Fast forward to just recently in January of 2025, Selena had a seemingly public meltdown as she faced backlash for sobbing over ICE arrests in 2 now deleted videos. Now, upon receiving a ton of backlash and deleting the post, she then shared a follow-up post on her Instagram where she wrote, "Apparently, it's not okay to show empathy for people." However, she deleted that post also. Most of the fans, reactions were of the consensus that Selena crying on film was not going to help any family affected, and were upset that she waited until it was too late to show empathy. Charlie Sheen. In a rather strange interview with ABC in February of 2011, the actor blasted 2.5 Men creator Chuck Lorre and proclaimed he was not bipolar but bi-winning. He also called Lorre a turd and a clown. During this interview, Charlie Sheen explains that he has tiger blood, and when she asked, the last time he used, he said, I use a blender, I use a vacuum cleaner, but ultimately said he can't remember the last time he used illegal substances. Now, from beginning to end, Sheen seems to celebrate his obvious meltdown, leading many to fear for his physical and psychological health. Despite the controversy surrounding the interview, it gained him further popularity. It gained him further popularity and actually gave the show he once was on the highest rating of the night. Chris Brown. In 2011, his Good Morning America appearance began with a smile, but he ultimately left angry and shirtless. The interview itself is very brief, with Robin Roberts focusing mostly on Brown's past and public image rather than his new album. Now on camera, Brown stays focused and even performs a song. Backstage, however, things went sour when Roberts began the conversation by asking about Rihanna. This interview came 2 years after pleading guilty to charges, and Chris Brown was clearly not pleased that his past kept being brought up. Brown didn't appreciate Robin Roberts prying about his situation with Rihanna and all of the hate that he got for it, so he had a very public meltdown. Brown stormed backstage after the interview, ripped his shirt off, and smashed a window with a chair, causing it to shatter and the shards of glass to fall on the sidewalk outside. Security was reportedly called to the scene immediately, but by the time they arrived, a very shirtless Brown was just headed out the door. Alec Baldwin. While a very popular actor, Alec Baldwin's temper has repeatedly gotten him into a lot of trouble. Back in 2007, Baldwin left a very nasty voicemail for his 11-year-old daughter, Ireland, calling her a thoughtless little pig. The incident was, acted upon a family judge who prevented Baldwin from contacting Ireland. Now, 4 years later, Baldwin got kicked off an American Airlines flight for being violent and belligerent. He had reportedly been asked to put his phone away, resulting in a public meltdown that saw him banging on walls, throwing papers on the ground, and screaming at the stewardess. Now, the incident was later parodied by Baldwin himself on Saturday Night Live. At least he has some self-awareness. Christian Bale. It's clear that this Oscar-winning actor takes his job very seriously, and it resulted in a meltdown for the ages. Bale was filming Terminator Salvation and was deeply angered by the on-set actions of cinematographer Shane Hurlbut. Bale stopped performing and screamed at him in a very lengthy tirade. Bale's flurry of profanity would make Tony Montana proud. At one point, it even sounds like Bale is restrained to keep things from getting physical. Now, this legendary meltdown was captured on audio only, sadly, and discreetly released to the public, where it became a pop culture sensation. Bale later apologized for the rant and said that he had made up with Halbert. Wow, do I not have an ending to this? Okay, there I go. All right, well, let me do my ending. That's all for today, but which one shocked you the most? Thanks so much for watching. I'm your host, Ashley, and it's been great catching up.